Let's get started. Let's put up that video. Hi, I'm Christopher Runsman. Welcome to One Page Story Extravaganza. If you have a story idea you'd like to suggest, please put it in the chat or the comments. You can feel free to put it on the comments section in any of my social media or any of my posts at all. I do a one-page story from these ideas or ideas that are flowing through my own noggin every single day, and I post them online. If you want to see the original art, it's on my Patreon. The link's down below for that and all of the other social media outlets. Join in the community, have fun, subscribe to things, put the notifications on, all that jazz. But take part, have fun, watch for your suggestion to be made into a story, inspire others maybe with your idea, or, I don't know, be inspired to make some of your own. Either way, it's a lot of fun. Hope to see you soon. Hiya. Okay, welcome to this thing we call Share. Hi everybody, how you doing today? Up on the screen behind me, well, on the same screen as me, you see today's page. I drew today's page in fountain pen. There he is. Look at that guy, huh? Gorgeous. They call him El Guapo. I got nothing. I don't know. But yeah, so I drew today's page in fountain pen and pretty much left it as it is. I just cleaned up the panels and posted it. So this was a lot of fun. It's a nice challenge. I drew it on a heavy grade Stonehenge paper, which is a really nice dense drawing paper with lots of texture. Now you can see that on the Patreon. You can see the original art there. There was a transition of value in the first couple panels because the previous ink that I had loaded up in this thing was purple. And then the ink that I subsequently used was black. So you can see the fade out from one value to the next in that first two panels. So it's kind of fun. And I just flat blacked the whole thing digitally. So yeah, otherwise it's been pretty good, pretty productive day. I did some stuff today I think you're going to be happy with. I sat down and I figured out my lighting and my miking and the studio setup. I think I think I've got it. We'll see. But here we are now, and I'm feeling good about it. You know, like it's taken some trial and error, some testing, and some monkeying around with some setup and some cameras. But I think this is maybe the best result I'm feeling I've got as yet. So let's switch out of this over to, see, there we go. That's what we're talking about. But I think that I've got the lighting set up for everything now. And I think I've got the, trial and error, right? But I'm feeling pretty good about this. Okay, new tool time. This is Derwent. He's a new friend of mine. Derwent is a electric eraser. Yeah, so we're going to try to incorporate this guy today. And I went and I stocked up on some more Fudenosuke pens. And honestly, these are my favorite inking pens. And so I've got some black ones and I got some gray ones. Feel good time picking these things up. It was necessary for me to do so. So, here we are. We got new lighting. We got an electric eraser. What's happening? We got a new camera set up. We got Corbin lying on my desk beside me, meowing. It's a good day all around. What's their name? What are the pens' names? Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I never thought about naming all my pens. Well, probably, Dave, David, Davidoff. I don't know. Variations on Dave. It's rather mundane name. Anybody I've ever known named Dave is pretty, yeah. Arg. Not to confuse the three. Okay, so
Yes, there you Who's there? Corbin's chillaxing beside me on the desk, and I can actually show you. I'm ready. Watch this. There he is. There he is. Look at this bozo. I got a new setup for things, so hopefully people are going to vibe with this. Sir, you're so funny. Yeah. Okay, so today's suggestion that I put up was a fun one. I didn't write down which Josh this was, if my son, or if it was Josh Kimball, or I couldn't tell you who. And a couple of other Joshes that are, we're connected to in this whole setup here. I'm not sure who it was that suggested this one, but what do you want to be when you grow up? When you grow up, sorry. That's fun. So I think that's, unless there's two we could go from. There's either what do you want to be when you grow up, or we can do, hold on, Rod Stewart's too loud. We can do what do you want to be when you grow up, or we can do somebody bringing larger and larger items onto the bus. Either one I'm good with. One, or I'll do the other one tomorrow. How's that? Let's see, what else did I get? I picked up some mixed media, heavy duty cardstock. I don't know what it was called. Corbin, leave that alone. Corbin. He's just decided to beat up my headphones for whatever random Corbin reason. So this is some heavy duty cardstock, flat cardstock that I've got, and it's really, really thick. Listen to that. Huh? Ow! Oh! Anyways, it's really, really thick, and so maybe I might use some of that today. Now he's beating up his mouse. Okay, he's occupied. So, but we've got the two subjects. Now, if I'm going to do what do you want to be when you grow up, I think one of the things that I'll ask folks is, if you want to suggest what you wanted to be when you grew up, you're welcome to do so. And, that could be part of how we engage in that. Or if we're going to do loading things up in the bus, what things do you think can be loaded onto a bus? Just give me a second. I'll slide over here and get my mouse there. Slide right on over there. How you doing, Dee? Welcome to this stream. Good stuff. Good fun. Good stream this morning, Dee. So I've got the heavy gray cardstock. I've got the blue cardstock and so on and so forth. We can work in whatever way. I can do watercolor. Now let's do some ink. Let's get into ink. Ink was fun yesterday. But let's go a little crazier with it. Let's get some colored ink. A big thing of ink that I've got here. And you. And you. Yep. Maybe you. All right. Riri says that she wanted to be a chiropractor when she grew up. Did you end up being a chiropractor? I wanted to be a dinosaur, so I did not fulfill my dream. I'm testing out. I've got this other fountain pen that I got a red cartridge loaded in, but I think there's still quite a bit of black ink in it, so we'll get to that. Okay, yeah. So I hope that the new setup is going to work for folks. I think that hopefully the quality of everything is better and that everything will hold out is my hope and dream. So I'm looking for my dipping quill if you're wondering what I'm doing. I've got a skinny little one. Well, I've also got a lot stuff in this Ding Dong studio. Not in here. Well, whatever. All right, here we go. A gemologist. You wanted to be a gemologist or a chiropractor. Yeah, I wanted to be a dinosaur, and then I wanted to. I think I had also considered how great it might be to be Luke Skywalker, and that didn't work out either. So then I considered, other alternatives of what I could be, like maybe I don't know, Timberwolf. I don't know. I was a weird kid. But yeah, I was pretty positively set on being a dinosaur. So, and a Triceratops. I even had a specific dinosaur. Preview says that she took some gemology classes and made some jewelry. Nice. Well, that's good. What do you need? Okay, that's crazy. Are we guessing Christopher's alternative careers? Today's suggestion we're working from is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so with that, I've opened the floor that if anybody wants to say what they wanted to be when they grow up, they're welcome to do so. What I really should have done was to follow through on what I was always interested in being, is what I really should have done. Instead of monkeying around for years, working at part-time jobs that I didn't enjoy in order to get to that state where I could just finally one day say, forget it. I'm going to just go do this thing. Stay away from my bedroom. Okay. Today's music is Rod Stewart. Did he want to be an archaeologist or a spy? Don't tell anybody. Okay. That's fun. I like that. I think that any of those choices, I think that any of these ideas that we had when we were young about what could possibly be potential careers or potential directions for us is a lot of fun, right? And, I like the notion of that. I think that it opens the door to a great deal of things of what we could be. Okay, so I'm going to start it off with having somebody ask, what did you want to be when you grew up, right? Or what do you want to be when you grow up? And let's see, I'm just trying to get myself organized here. Clearly greatly disorganized. I'm debating on whether or not to draw on the black paper or not. All right, maybe we'll do that. There we are. Why not a spy, huh? So let's write our list down of what we've got so far. We've got gemologist. There's a better color pen than that, fella. We've got gemologist. We've got what we've got? Gemology, chiropractic, archaeology, chiropractor. Spy, right, shush. Corbin, leave that alone. You're not helping me with Yeah, I turd this one. Okay, yeah, both would be fun. I love to read, so I can be those and more. Oh, well, there you go. That's the beautiful thing about reading is that it just allows us to disappear into these stories and these different characters. This is, part of what I'm really trying to encourage here in the stream is that people just pursue whatever story ideas they might have and whatever, notions that they maybe should have followed. So, all right. So I've got Corbin's at it. All right. So I'm just going to draw a young person. We'll start there. And I'm going to build up the lights from the dark. We'll just approach it this way. So we're sitting down tonight, and I'm doing a whole bunch of videos. Now that we've got the lighting and the cameras figured out properly for the first time, I think, ever, we're going to sit down. I'm going to sit down tonight and we're going to do our first video. And so what the videos are going to be is pretty close to what I'm doing here, but more specifically identifying, drawing with a tool or drawing with some kind of mark making thing, taking some sort of approach to creativity. So we'll see how that goes. And now that I got Derwent, the new welcome addition to our family, he's going to help me do some of that. Watch this action. Derwent, you look at you. Anyways, so I'm going to try to do some videos in that regard. I'm not going to stop doing my streams or anything like that. I'm just going to leave the videos up because there are people that just want to watch videos like that. They don't want to watch this live stuff. I'm still going to keep doing what I'm doing. The videos will serve specifically as a tutorial. I don't know. We'll see. First one will be how to be a beatbox gangster. In my head, that joke is really funny because I'm not a rap guy. It would be different if it was a genre that progressed in some way, but it hasn't. As a musical genre, I think it's been static for a long time. So I'm doing a young black guy for my first my character. What do you want to be when you grow up? And then I'm going to try to add some color to this. So the way I got the camera set up now is so that I can have more working space in camera and at a better angle so that things would get washed out on me, and I'm trying to see what I'm doing, and honestly it's like making invisible marks just because of the angle of things. So I've switched that, and I've switched the lights. I've got better lighting situated in here now. Last night we went shopping. I even got new bottles for my water. Take it easy. I know that one's like, what? You got what? Coming to say hi, Paul? Can you see him tapping now? Can you see what he does it the whole time I'm drawing? Just watch this. Watch right here. Okay. Watch this. Watch this action. Right there. Where? Can I get in the frame? Okay. I think mine were based on loving research, not the actual doing of those careers. I understand that. Mr. Paul Pate, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday. Tomorrow night, Paul Pate will be on Jim's Hey Man, How's Your Movie Going? Eight o'clock EST. Sean Rowan's channel. I think Jim's first question is going to be, Paul, why? Why? But a comment on me hasn't happened. Oh, yeah. Paul, the question is, what did you want to be when you grew up? Oh, I didn't write mine down. Dinosaur. Luke. Easily attainable things for kids, right? I like drawing in white. I like drawing. You want to be a quarterback for Dallas. Oh, hi, Miriam. I'm sorry, I missed popping in there. I apologize. The question is, Miriam, what did you want to be when you grew up? Corbin, what did you want to be when you grew up? Okay. Quarterback for Dallas. Dallas specifically? Wasn't that a big deal? The guy who was a quarterback for Dallas, when you were a kid, you just wanted to replace that guy, maybe. Hey. So you can see what I'm talking about when I say Corbin climbs over me the entire time. We at least did that. We already did that. You wanted to be Miriam when you grew up? Didn't you want to tell you to just be yourself, Paul says? We already did that. Did I already do that as a page? I don't think I did. If anybody remembers me doing this already as a one page, I tried to look and just open the book and pick a random one, but sometimes I miss crossing stuff off, so. Like I didn't cross off a horse, a fence, and a mermaid, and I almost did that yesterday, so. Do you have, I wanted to be Roger Staubach. Oh, there you go. Huh. I don't think I did. I'll have to look into it, but no, I definitely don't think I did. Corbin, you're not helping me. Oh, there you go, Derwin. You're doing your job. Look at you, buckaroo. Wahoo. There's my little buzz. Where are you going now? All right, get down. Get down. Just a sec, sorry. asked if I did this already as a page, and Miriam thinks I did. Does anybody else remember me doing this as a page? Because I'll just switch gears to the other thing. As I'm just introducing the character, so I can switch over to, but I don't remember doing this. And I can switch over to the other topic. This is Derwin. He's a new member of the family for those that you join late. Hi, Maxie. Welcome aboard. She calls his mom furious. All right. Well, I hope everybody's having a good day. If anybody's got something fancy they want to talk about and that they're working on, feel free. I'm learning video editing. That's my big exciting thing to talk about. That's my next thing to learn. And we're going to do some fun things. I had some silly ideas about stuff that I want to try on the live stream here. I think what I really need is a Ed McMahon. That's what I think I need. Yes! Anyways, bigger than a dinosaur. Thal is flirting with Dee Dee. Uh-oh. He's not flirting with Christopher. Yeah, I was curious what the flirting thing was this morning. But and don't tell me. I don't know. Not here. It's weird people flirt with each other like that. It's like a foreign thought in my head. So I'm building up the layering. So I'm getting to the point now where I'm going to start putting more emphasis on some of these whites and some of these raised surfaces and pull together some of the form just a little bit more. I tend to like to work, when I'm working with white pencil crayon on a dark surface, I like to build it up in layers. Start with a lot of the base form and then bring up a lot of the emphasis. It's almost like, as you're adding on these layers, it's like the surfaces are closer and closer to you, right? One of my absolute favorite artists is Caravaggio, and Caravaggio de Buonarroti. No, no, he's not. That's Michelangelo de Buonarroti. It's Caravaggio de Michelangelo. You like that? You like the Italian accent on that? I do the same thing when I say spaghetti. Would you like some Chef Boyardee? Anybody that's following here that might be Italian, you know what you got going on. Oh, Derwent, look at you go. I know it's his name because he's got it written right there around his neck. Oh, hi, Janet. Welcome aboard. Have you hit the thumbs up? I don't know if people have hit thumbs up. I actually, I always forget to check that. how many thumbs up things get or whatnot. I don't know how many thumbs up I've had. I've got to be more. I got to wake up a little bit here and be more conscious of this stuff. There's no part of me that thinks about, you know, I'm gonna get monetized or any of that stuff. I'm gonna get a bazillion followers. But it would be good to pay attention to what I am doing. So we've already had some people pick up some of the digital files of one-page stories. That's a lot of fun. And so I'm going to put some more on and see what the folks on the Yokes back home think of that. And we'll go from there. But that's pretty cool for anybody that might be here that did. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's collected one-page story little booklets on digital booklets, and if you want to print out a copy, go ahead. And those are on Patreon. But I'm going to put some more on. Since the book that's supposed to be out this year is not going to be out until next year. Yep. Despite what I was told by their salesperson. Yeah, of course we can do that. Let's get moving down here in his face. Quit playing around the forehead. Paul says, never give up on your dreams. Oh, look who's joined us. It's Jim. How you doing, Jim? Jim dreams of giving up. What? No, it was what did you want to be when you were a kid? And our answers so far are gemologist, chiropractor, archaeologist, spy, dinosaur, Luke Skywalker, and the quarterback for Dallas Cowboys. That's where we are so far. If there's ones I missed, let me know. But Paul's got to get back to football practice. I never thought about anything to do with art as being a career. And, not the most encouraging childhood. We live in an age where everybody whines about their childhood. Yes? Well, just jump up. I'm missing stuff. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an only child. Only child. Maybe that one, Carter. Thinks it's good. I think every kid in a kid family thinks stuff like that. Oh, I just want my own room. When I was a kid, I wanted to have an identical twin. That's cool. Did you want so? There's two twin artists that I'm aware of. Fabian Moon and Gabriel Ba are twin brothers. And Asaph and Tomer Chanukah are brothers, twin brothers. And both of those twins have one of which that lives in Israel. It's just interesting. Moving satellite, that's good. Miriam couldn't achieve having that. Want to have an identical twin. You want an identical twin. That's a fun one. It's, those creepy things where, you were going to be a twin and then now you're not. It's an awkward thing. And when your parents tell you that, you were going to be a twin, and then you weren't. Ugh. What does that mean? That explains the voices, though. No. So rather than thinking about things as lines when I'm drawing like this, I tend to think about the marks I put down as shapes. And then that sort of liberates me from being too caught up in the marks that I'm making and looking at them as, because when we're drawing in the opposite way, we're putting black marks on white paper, you tend to think linearly, right? Unless you're working in the same sort of way, but working with negative space, you only think of it as shapes, as values, and it liberates you. Wee, woo, wee. I might do that for a little while until I get used to Derwent here. I was at the jam and the young man had one of these, and I'm like, it's such a good if I never got one. So I did. So I picked one up last night. I hate when you go to the art supply store and you look on the shelves, and here's where you've always known product to be. Here's where you always know this is where they have the markers that I like. This is where they have, the paints that I use. And I'm not talking about the frustration of when they rearrange the store. That's frustrating for everyone. But I'm talking about when you go in there specifically to pursue replenishing some specific, tools, and they're not there. They've just sold out of just that today, or they're just out of that item that you need. And that's a frustrating enough thing. So I tend to not be the one that just, they don't have any, I walk away disappointed. I've always been used to buying the Fudenosuke pens in 2-packs, right? And of course, they're completely out when I went to Michael's last night. And I went, right? And I just stood there at the wall going, it's got to be something. here. I'm looking for alternative and yet similar products, because there's this part of me that's like, I really need this kind of pen. This is what I like inking with. And so as I kept scanning the wall, right down at the bottom of all these little slots that have different pencils and pens and markers in along the wall, right down at the bottom, there's singles of the pens that I like. So happy result, but it's the last place I would have looked. It's the exact, absolutely last place, because I tend not to be that guy that gets down that low. And well, long story short, too late. I got some. And I got some black and I've got some gray. So I'm looking forward to using those and to doing some drawing with those. Let's see what I'm missing. Miriam says that she couldn't achieve her objective of having an identical twin, but she's got mirrors, though, and a vivid imagination. Miriam says, I'm fascinated by that way of drawing. Just told my son, and he loved it too. Oh, great. Didi showed us how to use shapes a few times in a few ways, too. Yeah, if you can stop thinking about your drawings as linear constructions and start thinking about form over well, not form over function, that's not what I'm trying to say, but if you can think of your stuff as volumes of form as opposed to line making, I think that you'll find a more accessible way of drawing for yourself. And that the second aspect of that would be consider volume and weight, and think of things as, how does this volume function in correlation with that volume? So I got this volume here and I got that volume there. And when they sit together and they work in conjunction with another, how do those fit and sit? And how do those shapes move? And as soon as you start doing things like that for yourself, then it sort of changes how you go about working on things. And you learn that by just drawing shapes and piling those shapes together and messing around with those shapes. Like in animation, they do an awful lot of pushing and pulling of shapes and stretching balls, like drawing a ball shape. Right? Here's your circular ball. And then now I want to show movement going this way with just a ball. So I'm going to stretch the ball in this regard. And so when you look at the ball in a static state, and then you look at the ball doing this, and then now we see the ball in the larger part, and it's stretching the ball, so it's not really a ball so much anymore. And as it lands, there's a bit of this flattening of the bulbousness of the ball shape, and you continue that, by spreading that out a little bit here, and then having it move back into its proper shape. And then you can even bounce it up in the air and have it just land. So there we return to our original ball shape. And so when we think about any shapes in that way, and what's the functionality of the ball and what it's doing, and then when you think about that and you just put a couple of different shapes together, you're rocking and rolling. And I firmly attest to, if you start looking at everything around you and exploring those three shapes, you can draw anything around you. There's, nothing holding you back from that. It's just the limitations we place in ourselves. But as soon as we start changing how we think about form and objects and our approach to drawing, the lid just pops right off. It's less about focusing on these specific tight-ruled lessons that a lot of people give out. And I'm not saying Didi does this. I haven't seen her things. But, and I highly doubt she does. But those people that say, this is the way to draw a tree, this is the way to draw a car. No, it isn't. And the reason I say it never really is that's the way they draw a car. The way you're going to draw a car is going to be different. And it's going to look like a different result. It's going to have your voice singing through it. This sort of fits into what I wrote down for today about our topic. Miriam says, I'm starting to see light zones and dark zones. Hope to use that more in my drawing. Yeah. If you get a chance, try to read a little bit on Hans Hofmann and see what he talks about in the push and pull of color, the push and pull of scale, of shape, of scale as in size, of shape, of the form and the movement and the modulation of a form, and how when we apply any of these things in correlation with one another, it changes. If you have a dense dark blue volume here, and you have a large really light yellow volume right here, the composition can balance. And the reason that the composition can balance is as much of this small density that pulls you back into the canvas or the surface or whatever it is, and this larger light density which pulls towards you. And you'll see how those things work together. The solidity or the liquidity of an object and can change our sense of its tangibility. It's a lot of words, but look at triangles, squares, and circles as form. When you see a square something or other, it tends to have a sense of solidity and strength. When we see a triangular thing to it, then there's a bit of an edge, like not just the pun of it's got an edge to it. It's got three of them. But what I mean by that is that there's a directional sense to it because of that. The tip of a pyramid is movement. It implies going up. And then a circular ball gives a sort of softness to it, right? So when we think about all of those things, and when we're drawing, as opposed to just thinking how lines work, when we think about how those shapes move together, like in this young person's cheek, there's this soft value under the eye, of a light area. And because the eyelid moves forward, so when you see his eye here, we've got his eyeball and we've got his eyelid over top of it, and then we've got the lip at the bottom of the eye, and it moves down like so. And this is because the eye is a socket, right? And of course the brow ridge sits over top of that. So there's a concavity in here. There's an implied concavity that follows into this almost like double triangle shape, as opposed to just a circular shape. So when we start thinking about how these shapes work in relationship with one another, it gives us a sense of the larger form. It gives us a sense of the larger object, right? So whatever you're drawing, think of it as shapes. We agreed with something. Speaking of animation, okay, Jim's thing tomorrow is at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. tomorrow. Hey, Alyssa, I wish I had small hands to put on the screen. I'll have that as Corbin's paws. Corbin, come here. No, now he's sleeping. So I hope that, helps somebody if you're in the process of figuring out any of the approaches to drawing or anything like that whatsoever. Just pursue that. Just pursue looking at things in the shapes, in the sense of shapes. So how's that turning out there? Okay, yeah, I see it building it. Good. So this is the kid who's asking the question for today's page. He's the active voice for the active participation of whoever's reading the page and drawing them into the narrative. Hey, you! So I'm putting little highlights, little enhancements on certain parts of his surfaces, his skin, right? In order to draw those up, to draw those forward. Welcome aboard, Alyssa. I found my iPad to spell your name correctly, Miriam. Fantastic. You know who's the best at spelling on an iPad? I have never seen a single typo out of Dee Dee. I've never seen a single typo. Dee Dee mentioned this morning on her stream, and I thought it was really kind of funny. It's one of those cute things where if Dee Dee spell correct changes a word that she's typing, she'll redo it 2 or 3 times until the darn thing gives her the right words, like the right word. And I appreciate that very much. What an intelligent iPad. For lunch, I had some soap. Slop. Soup. That kind of thing. So hopefully I've caught the young man's kind face. I want a sort of polite smile to him as he's posing his question. So just building that up in small increments. And I'm still just using the same pencil. I haven't brought in any other tools or anything like that. So I'm just seeing how much depth we can get with a single pencil. So Alyssa says, my iPad is an idiot. Miriam says, so is mine. I don't have one. I've never had one, I don't think. I think my wife gave me a small tablet thing to use that was really old and kind of non-functional, and it died within weeks. Like it was just all I was using it for was a source thing. I've got a Kindle that in the studio here, and this sucker's got more longevity than that. I'm an Android guy. I don't understand single button operations. Confuse the heck out of me. Where are we at? We're at 53 minutes. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on in here. Oh, look at this shiny. You stick around on this, I have a question. So this is a charcoal pastel pencil that I picked up when I was in Toronto. Picked up a number of these. And Faber-Castell is the brand on these. So we're going to see if we can get a little raised white surface through this. Yeah, that's popping up. That's good. That's why she gave the palm to you. Oh, there we go. I actually really love my iPad, but the autocorrect makes me crazy. Are there like 5 guys on Instagram that follow everybody with different names and photos, or is it an army of men who have nothing better to do? In what regard? What do you mean? Like, is it all just me? I got all my personalities typing stuff in. Have you seen the movie Split? Anyways, I don't know. I got to figure that. In fact, I know for a fact of a couple people that do that, and I'm not a big fan. Didi had something interesting to say about spamming this morning. I can't stand it, and I've been experiencing it lately, and it's making me a little bit crazy. I'm not interested in trend hopping, and what I mean by trend hopping isn't. I'm not talking about taking part in different crafts or approach to creativity or things like that. I'm talking about trend hopping. I can't stand trend hopping. I think it's. I'm going to do this because it's very hot right now. It just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like it's something that's directed. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like there's something you call it to. I want to try that. I don't know how to do that. No, I'm just doing it because this is the thing that people are really excited about doing. It's boring to me. Explore yourself. Explore your work. Have fun with it. And block these profiles immediately. Jay says the cool thing about is that they all think I'm beautiful. Yes, he does. Over and over and over again. You know you're in trouble though, Janet, when they start arguing over you. When they start fighting over you, and it's the same dude. You got stuff that's it's getting weird. It's tricky drawing on black paper. I find it's really good if you want to make dark and spooky and scary stuff. But to try to, it just sort of takes a little bit more time and patience to introduce a lighter feeling or a lighter value to a character. It really becomes a case of choosing the right pose or expression, or as much as it is about how you're applying whatever the mark making medium is that you're using is. But oftentimes you can draw just an arbitrary image and have it turn out to feel somehow dark or morose or malicious. And if that's working if that's objective oriented for your drawing, great. But otherwise, and working on a black surface isn't the optimal choice. We've got something coming together, anyways. Jenna says, "I think I'm beautiful behind the block." Lisa says, "That's looking really good, Christopher." Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate that. So, if our character that's introducing us into the topic is this young man, it's kind of a fun thing to apply, an image to a page where you've got it drawn on one type of surface, but there's no rule book that says, well, the whole thing has to be drawn on this heavy black cardstock. But what I am going to explore, I'm going to switch over to the opposite, but what I'm going to explore is using the same approach that I'm drawing with here in the opposite, in reverse. So I'll show you what I mean in 2/6. And we'll start addressing the things that people suggested they wanted to be when they were grown up, when they were a child. What did you want to be when you grow up? And these are some of our answers over here. If anybody has any more to add, Alyssa or anybody else, Alyssa or Lisa, is it E or soft I? I don't want to keep pronouncing your name wrong. Granddaughter at church this week. It's nice to meet you, Liliana, the lady says. Very nice, right? And she goes, it's Liliana. I'm like, oh. I had to explain, well, you don't do that. But people, it doesn't, if you're going to have a long-term engagement with this person, that's one thing. You're just meeting this person, you probably won't see him again. I don't want people to get it wrong with me. People are going to get it wrong. Like, my real name is actually Christopher. Nobody ever says that right. So I hope the lighting is better for folks. I hope that I've gotten some improvement there. I worked hard at that this morning. And I also changed up the sound, and we went out last night and picked up a bunch of things that we need, including Derwent, the electric eraser. What am I missing? Long E sound. Elisa. Okay. Yeah, I tried to explain to her that. Well, for me, I'm a Christopher. I've always gone as Christopher, introduce myself, address myself. But people always say, hey, Chris. I just let it go. What are you going to do? It's not Brian, it's Brion. Okay, so here's our first character for our page. So let's take a look at some of the suggestions that we've already got. We've got gemologist, chiropractor, archaeologist, spy, dinosaur, Luke Skywalker, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, an only child, or an identical twin. These are our suggestions so far. If anybody has any more to add about what you wanted to be when you were growing up, let me know. We'll get it incorporated into our list, and I'll do whichever ones I can. No promises to anyone. Yours will be one of the featured ones. It really just is sort of, what does Chris feel like drawing this minute? Where are we at? Miriam wants to be younger, is what I want. When I grow up, I want to be younger. When I grow up, I want to be a banker. I want to be Joe Biden. When I grow up, I want to be an actuarial. said no child ever. Alisa says, only I want to keep any wisdom I've gained. So you want to be eternally young? I'll write that down. Or is that, when I grow up, I want to become a kid again? So this is fun. It's really, really dense cardstock, this Black Pieces. And it's got a nice tooth to it. It's Strathmore mixed media paper. So it's really good for taking a lot of different materials to it. So, but I just thought I'd give it a try. Where are we at? I think most girls when I was young wanted to be a teacher or a nurse. Teacher or nurse, eh? I'll put it down too. Oh, and young again. But wise. I write like a doctor in a terrible way. It gets worse and smaller as I go. Okay, so I think we got something here. This kid's kind of a little bit twisted, but there we are. I'm still waiting for A Course in Wisdom. Dan, how you doing? Welcome aboard. So the question today, Dan, is what did you want to be when you grew up? Okay, so what have I got here that I can do as on this piece of black cardstock? Let's just continue to utilize this. Just sharpening my little nub of a pencil. Why is it a milk? It's because I'm the cheapest person on the planet. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think Dee Dee was using a snub pencil today too. All right. Well, let's do a gray tone drawing at this point. So let's draw our spy person with the slouch hat. And we'll do is it a trench? It's the trench coat look. So let's do that. So I'm just drawing the space around the subject, finding that silhouette, finding that form. And we're going to draw our first one of what I wanted to be when I grew up, and that's going to be a spy. There we go, there's your spy. Got an awesome early birthday present. Oh, that's fantastic, Jenna. Happy birthday. Gotta go. See you around. See you later, Riri. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Dan wanted to be a milkman. Cool uniform and truck. Skin tone alcohol-based markers. Nice. Happy birthday. Ooh. Here we go. So, milkman with the uniform and the truck. Here we are. My sister, because I look so very different than the rest of my family, my sister used to upset me as a young person and tell me that I was the milkman's son. And where we lived at the time no longer had milk service. Most places didn't, but there was no milk service where we grew up, and yet I still believed her. Because young boys are dumb. All right, so we'll put... I'm just going to sit down for a second here and think about composition, right? And so one of the things I'm considering is let's break out into the whole stereotype of what would be going on around a spy. So if there's a street light that's got a silhouette in the ground at the bottom, that gives us a good reason for all of this highlighted area around the body there. And refraction gives us some explanation for this at the back, but so that's there's our lit up floor space. We'll put Carol Burnett with her mop there, just because that makes more sense. So here's our guy, and then we'll have our brick wall here. So if you make the little gutter marks like that, like I've just done here, you can help you to figure out your different levels of bricks. Didi says the drawing's amazing, Christopher. Thank you, Didi. That's very nice of you. Did any of you guys used to have not only a milkman, but a bread delivery guy? Bread delivery guy was still around, yep. My step-grandfather from the Netherlands was a Borden's milkman. There you are. We got, no, but up to a point before we moved, we got the paper twice a day. Nice. I was a paper delivery kid when I was young. I had numerous paper routes just to earn money at the age of 12. We had a Wonder Bread delivery truck trying to kill us early with all that white bread. Or as we call it in Canada, honky loaf. Look it up. It's not true. We still get the paper delivery. Didi says, oh yeah, we still do here as well. It was always so soft and yummy. Oh, the bread. I think it was the paper. Okay, so there's some of the stuff that we've got figured out in our composition. And then one of the ways that we can route this is to have the lamppost within this illuminated area. And so if we're going to do that, cut the shadow out from behind it. Right, so that now our illuminated base goes like so. And then you can play with. And then we'll highlight that center area with a nice crisp white on that. That'll be a nice crisp white up here at the top. All I'm thinking about here is the shapes of the volume. Why they came out with bread? They have both. See what paper doing? That's why they came out with white bread, so they had both markets covered. We didn't have bags to the trash. We had a backer, put newspaper inside, took it out, so they empty it and toast the backer again. Is that right? I don't know if we get paper delivery out here. I stopped getting it when Mary passed. Sorry to hear about Mary's passing. After I saw Bob Owens show Wonder Bread she saved to make dough ornaments, 6 months later the bread was still fresh. Fresh. Not that I ever ate it before. Bucket. Oh. What did I miss? A bucket. You put the newspaper inside and took it out, damped it, and tossed it back. Yeah, we do that. We do recycling here. We used to have the sheriff come deliver any serious news. We were 4 miles up in the sticker bushes. No phone, electricity. When he came up, did he do it like this? Ma'am, can I get you all to sit in the living room? I need to tell the family something. Was it like that? I'm making light of the serious news part. I'm just trying to touch into that stereotype of what they do in the films. What's happening, Sheriff Johnson? There's a mad dog serial killer out there, so we want you to lock your doors and keep the boys home. Mad dog serial killer. I'm honking. I'm not honking. Okay. So this is me running across this larger shape, filling this in. There's where we're going to put our lamp post, and this is going to be much lighter. So now I know this shape, I know the outline of the spy figure, but something to consider is how light works. And what part of the face might have some illumination on it. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll think about what surfaces will be picked up and what won't be. And so we're only really drawing the parts that this heavy light is going to cast some value on. There's not going to be anything going on over here. Yeah, those little bits of graphite in there. We'll have some of the color up here. A little bit there. Bouncing off the bricks that we're going to draw behind them. What are we at? And we had a pigeon toed. He was pigeon toed like the Duke. Lamb. Yeah. Worst part, we didn't have cell phones. Oh my gosh. I don't think any of us that are on this stream right now grew up with cell phones. Man, I thought I had a bad day. You're in a holler. Up in the woods. The mountains. Took my dad 2 days to plow the frontage road with the cat. That's the trickiest part about living up in the mountains is it's not like a lane, it's a road. You got to clear the road up to your place. Tricky enough. I had a friend years ago said to get to their house, he took a car, parked it, got on a high rise, rode it, walked 5 miles, and then got the country where she lived. My goodness. Oh, a horse, not a hot rise. I'm not sure why my iPad was thinking there. Really easy to arrive home, Dee Dee. With a cat? Dee iPad never misspells things. You got to her house, there was a note in the door saying, God into the country. Oh no. Caterpillar tractor. There we are. I know somebody right now who gets to his property by Caterpillar tractor. When you drive off the road onto the road to his property, you go in half a click, and there's his parking garage, his parking barn, and you put your vehicle there, and then you get on the cat, and then you ride the cat into the wood in order to get to his house. And I think that's wonderful. Okay, so these little hash marks that I'm making. Now, hopefully, the new camera has got things a little more focused. But these hash marks that I'm making are for, here we go. Let me see. Give it a second to focus. But these hash marks are for bricks. And so it really is just a case of, oops. Whatever you're going to do for your spacing for the bricks, just try to keep them uniform, right? Just keep them equal spacing. Now, the other thing to consider is that when you're looking at bricks, when you're thinking about bricks, you're having to draw a brick pattern. Okay? And you've got the next layer down. Okay? This is the shape. There's a gutter inside between these two bricks. It's not a big glob, and it's not a straight line. It's a gutter. Right? If you look at the front of the brick, it's like a finger's draw on the inside. That's the thing I see most when people do bricks, is that they keep the line flat across and then go, well, something's off there. Yep. That's usually the first thing. I got this stencil. I got a stencil recently of, just give me a sec. Sketchbook's on the road. There we are. This is the stencil that I got recently, which is gives you natural spacing for doing bricks. Lily was using it for, see, there we go. Look at that, matches. So Lily was using this for doing some jelly plating, and just fun. Just thought it'd be fun to pick that up. Where did I pick it up? At the Craft Hive in St. Thomas, Ontario, Canada. What are we at? I'm missing a whole bunch of stuff, I bet. With a dog, it only takes it one day. There you go. Advances in tech are amazing nowadays. They sure are. We're a witness to the evolution of it. The stones remind me of Calvin and Hobbes. Oh, nice. Yeah, Bill Watterson, masterclass on how to make simplistic marks denote something far more complicated. It's the artist Calvin and Hobbes. For those that don't know, if you're gonna look at periodical cartoons, and if you're interested in doing any illustrative work with those, look at Watterson. See how Watterson makes marks. It's really compelling. Okay, so there's our starting point for our spy character, and put in a tiny little bit more information in here. It's messing around, people. Okay. Dan says, Bayer, Amazon, a few others are all moving to pharma through the QR code in a smartwatch. Rather have a nurse or a doctor, lol. Oh, yeah. I had my pharmacy call me the other day and say, well, we'd like to go over your medication with you and see if we should make any adjustments. And I said, yeah, I got an endocrinologist. Thanks, anyways. That's the whole reason I go see them. Happy birthday. You know. Derwin, where are you? That crazy kid go. See that? I've already lost him. It's in my hand. Nope. Yeah, I have no idea where I put the electric eraser over there. Oh, there you are. Cheeky guy blends right in there. Right, well, we got a good start. So I'm going to take the things that people have mentioned today. I'm going to do what I can with some of these. And I'll put together a page talking about what do you want to be when you grow up. And I'm debating still, do I draw the things that people want to be when they grow up? Do I draw different kids saying what they want to be? When I grow up, I want to be this. When I grow up, I want to be that. Or do I do some sort of, here's the kids along the bottom and here's what they want to be along the top, or reversals or whatever it is. But, there's something to explore in that. And, this falls back to the same thing I usually say with when you're working on a page. Start with an image and then build the rest of it as you go. When you have everything, if you sit down with paper and you lay everything out and you're working up all the different directions you can take for pages, that's important. No doubt about it. That's an important step to do. And the reason that it's so important is that it develops the facility in you to put together compositions, to have some sort of knowledgeable level within you, some decision-based assessment of what makes some sense out of the layouts that you're doing for your pages and how they fit within the context of the page and contextual narrative. And that's good. And if you need to work up doing that, but don't rest in that. Don't just sit there and work up mock-ups and have all your time dedicated to that. Get on to doing the work. Get on to drawing the page. Get on to doing the thing. And sometimes you'll find that in the implementation of just that first image alone, the rest of it just starts connecting in your head. And honestly, that does relate to spending X amount of time trying to understand different compositions, to trying to understand different page layouts, and trying to understand different approaches to telling a simple story or simple idea. So, as with anything else, way to Carnegie Hall, practice, 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 right? But then recognize that the more I think about making notes in my note journal, I can't remember what Dee calls it, where your book of ideas or whatever, idea journal, something like that. Someone will type it in the chat. But yeah, write those things down. But if you're going to look at anything like that and say, well, as soon as A, B, C, D happens, I'll sit down and start writing down ideas, you're missing the point. Just have a thing around, and it takes no effort. Find a pile of Post-its, find a little random notebook. If you've got a dry erase board on your fridge, there you go, something to scribble on. And then go get your book and put stuff in, right? But in the meantime, don't let that go by because you're waiting on whatever perfect conditions you're looking for. And it's the same thing when it comes to putting together pages and doing your art. Don't wait for whatever. Start working small steps to the race, but allow yourself that creative exploration. And then eventually you start figuring out different approaches to things. How do you tell AI that you have the wrong? I don't know. Oh, Elisa took off. Take care, Elisa. Thanks for coming out. Okay, so we're at an hour and a half. This is usually when I wrap up, and that's largely because my day is spent, doing other things in the mornings, and then I got to get it after I do the stream here. I got to get back to doing some of those. And lately, I've got some stuff on my plate, so that I kind of need that time. So this is why the streams have been in pretty rigidly an hour and a half instead of leading into 2 hours. So keep an eye out. We're putting out books on the Patreon, digital copies of collections of illustrations and one-page stories, and keep an eye out on the YouTube here if you're subscribed, because we'll be starting to put up videos where it's a recorded video of me talking about a technique or a tool and ways to use said tool or technique, and having those up for people to see as well, and doing little shorts from those. But yeah, still at it, keep them going. Otherwise, tomorrow's Thursday. I will see you at 2 p.m. EST, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, have a great day. Okay, bye for now, everybody. Thanks for coming out.